I'm more so thinking for a person that, you know, they see life in a negative aspect. How would you, what in which one would you start with if so?
What do you mean?
Like if the mind, body, and soul, you know, people get stuck in the same pattern, you know, and so that damages their soul, not only their soul but their mind, and then they start feeling more like shit. And so when they start feeling more like shit, they feel like people are judging them.
Yeah.
But in reality, nobody really cares about you.
Okay. So you're saying which one you start with?
Yeah.
I'm biased. I'll say body.
Body? I mean, body could affect your mind and everything first, but
I'm saying body because physical is so easy to attach yourself to.
True.
So if you, here we go again, hit the gym and you change the way your body looks, that's the easiest thing to like get instant gratification from. You know what I mean? You can't get gratification for changing your thoughts necessarily. You know, it's very hard to get gratification from that. Now, if you start looking yourself in the mirror and you start seeing you're ripped, then it's like that's gratification. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's basically where I was going. Was that before I started hitting the gym and everything, I was really in a bad mental state. You know, and so after I started hitting the gym, I started feeling better. And as time progressed, you know, I started learning a skill because I felt better in the gym. I felt more confident about myself. So me too. I would go with the body too because you get more of a gratification.
The absolute last one to attack, in my opinion, is soul. That's the last.
I feel like that one's the most complex.
That's the complex, but once you get there, then that will. Let's say you're at a bad mental state, right?
Right.
If you go body, mind, soul in that order, once you attack your soul and you get that like locked in, you'll never go back down to having to fight the battle again.
Yep.
Because once you have your soul locked in, then you're already set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to start with the body if you don't have like anything secure yet, like you're really insecure or something. But then once you reach the soul and you have it done, you have that complex battle done, then you'll never have to deal with it again because you're basically already set.
Yeah.
So it would be more like confidence then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But soul goes way deeper than that. I think confidence is mind. I think soul is like, it's bigger than like physical confidence.
Yeah.
Like soul is like spiritual confidence where like you realize that kind of sounds nihilist. Not really, but like the earth doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like, because you're confident in like something later.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or what you're doing in your own life.
Exactly. So like your purpose. That's like what the soul is, I think.
Yeah, your purpose in life, basically.
Yeah, because confidence, that's more like, oh, I look good. You know, I talk well. I'm, you know, that sort of thing. I think spiritual confidence is like your purpose. And once you have the purpose, then your mind and body like hardly even matter anymore to that in an extent. You know what I mean? Because if you're already dedicated to it, then you're set.
I would say as well, having a good diet, like the way you eat as well, really impacts. Like
I think that involves.
That would
body.
be. I would agree with body there. So if you physically look better and you eat better, then you have your body set. Now you move on to mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then mind. What would you consider stuff for mind? Confidence. What else would you consider mind?
I would say
Confidence,
learning something new
self-awareness.
for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, or like trying like to read or like try a new sport or in that sense.
So
you get me?
the process.
The process of it.
I think process is mind. Confidence, the process, that sort of thing. That's mind. And then soul is spiritual, of course.
I mean, I would definitely agree that physical aspect is definitely the easiest to attack. I'm not sure which would be better to start with, the mind or body, for the simple fact that if you have the weak mindset, then it's hard for you to dedicate yourself to, for example, the gym, because you don't have the discipline.
Yeah,
you don't have the will and the motivation to keep going because mentally you're not there enough for it. But if you're able to push past that point, then physical is definitely the easiest way to start, again, because it's going to improve your mental. But that's just the roadblock, in my opinion. I don't know which would be the best way to start.
That's the thing, though. I feel like when people, for example, they're in a bad mindset they haven't attacked their mindset at all, they kind of almost fall into the gym. You don't really need the discipline yet. You don't need the motivation. You kind of just fall into attacking your body. You know what I mean?
I mean, it is a way to get away from everything. It is a way to distract yourself and just... And
so,
it makes you...
Because there's a lot of people in the gym with bad mindsets.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you'd start with mine, because to like actually start, the gym is the example, I guess. But it's just like you don't need a good mindset to start the gym. The gym is what develops the good mindset. I don't know. Because that's... But I kind of agree, because
it's just the one roadblock in my... But, I mean, like you said...
Okay, I would say...
Go ahead.
I would say, if you're in the gym and you're eating good, because, I mean, if you can't tell, what's it called? If you're eating just bad food, you know, like let's say, all you have is...
that with cookies in front of us?
Yeah, this definitely does look bad.
We got crumble cookies. We got G Fuel and Burger King fries.
America!
Christ almighty.
Never mind.
Continue.
Okay, but let's say, you know, you're eating better. You're going to feel better, right? Without even having to hit the gym.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, you know, have you guys ever felt those days where you eat like shit? You know, it reflects how you feel.
Yeah.
So for a person that wouldn't know that, you know, and they just continue, and then they go hit the gym, of course they're going to have a bad mindset. Yeah. But I would say to really stabilize, it would be like maybe going for a 30-minute walk, run, whatever it may be, get some movement in your body, you know, because it does release, what is it, dopamine?
I think dopamine, but it's mostly endorphins.
Okay, so either way, if you get movement in your body, yeah, either way, if you get movement in your body, you know, you start feeling better. Mm-hmm. Okay. You watch what you eat. You know, you get some protein in you. I would say, you know, you would feel way better. So.
Yeah. That's why I would start with the body right there, because you don't even need a good mindset to just like start walking. You could be in an awful mindset. Start walking and then just stop eating chocolate after dinner or something. You could be in a god awful mindset. So if you start with your body, then you'll feel better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that kind of goes with the you feel how you look. You know,
yeah.
Easiest way to start. Just start dressing nicer, you know, and you start feeling a little more confident.
Look good.
Part of
feel
the reason
good,
why
bro.
I love suits.
Yep.
No matter how you may feel, you put a suit on, you feel powerful. You start standing up like 10 times straighter.
Yep.
Arms way out here. You ain't even buff. You just like I'm power.
Yep.
But you know, it affects your mental. So yeah, I guess physical is probably the easiest and the best way to go about it. I didn't even think about that.
Okay, so personally, this is the way I did it. So I started working out. Mm-hmm. When I started working out, I started seeing some progress. That released, you know, a chemical in my mind. I was like, ooh, I want to keep on going. Let me see what more I can reach to. I knew that it was going to take time. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
So because of that, I was like, okay, so the gym is pretty cool, but what else can I do to fit into my time? Because time, you know, is way worth more than any money could ever give you. Yeah. That's what even billionaires say. You know, you could be 80 years old with multi-million dollars and, you know, be ending your life in like a year or two. So I would say time is the most valuable thing. So it just depends on how you spend it. So the way I did it was my body, and then I learned a skill. That skill, because I do not want to work for anybody. You know, that's, you know, for me personally, I don't want to work for anybody. So I started developing on a skill. So that was more on my mind. So I realized as I started working on my body, I started gaining more confidence. From there, I jumped into, you know, now maybe giving my time like an hour or two, because we all have free time. Giving an hour or two to something that at first you realize you're not going to like doing. But the way I realized was, okay, let's look at the long-term benefits of it. Working out. Looking at the long-term benefits. Nothing is going to happen overnight. But if you see the long-term benefits, you're going to have a nice body. You're going to feel better.
Yep.
All right? So with a mindset of, you know, nothing's going to happen overnight, now you jump into something that you like doing. Like, okay, maybe reading a book, a self-development book, or starting a new skill, whatever it may be. You like writing, you could do something with that. But so you delve into that. You give an hour or two of that to yourself because you know that it's going to increase, your motivation to do more things. So after that, time passes just like that. A year from now, just think about a year from now. Who am I going to be? How am I going to be? Because we don't stay the same. So as time progressed,
it's up to you to decide who you will be in a year too.
Yeah.
No one's changing you but you. You know what I mean? So like, if you want, who do I want to be in a year? Okay, now you take the steps to make it happen. You won't just get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is really good with focusing on long term. People think too short term. Mm-hmm. So if you really focus on long term benefits, you'll stick with something longer. What's interesting, I saw, do you guys know who Deion Sanders is? Cornerback.
Yeah.
So he's like extremely old school, like motivation wise, right? And he was talking about something that kind of caught my attention. I was watching an interview with him. He's basically saying, because he's now the Colorado college head coach, so he's recruiting kids. Mm-hmm. And for football, he was saying he wants kids that their purpose is above them. He doesn't want kids that are like, oh, I want to be good at football, or like, I want to get to the NFL. He says, I want to hear kids that say, I want to do it for my legacy. I want to do it so I can impact people. I want to do it for my mom. I want to get her out of the hood. So that I just connected that in my brain with what you said. Basically, it's like, if you think long term or stuff that's bigger than you, you'll stick with things. Mm-hmm. Because if you're the first person you'll quit on is yourself. But if you have someone waiting on you, if you have someone relying on you, then you won't quit on it. Yep. Same thing with that. If you are thinking long term in your way of, this is who I want to be, this is how I want to make an impact,
right?
Then you will not quit on yourself.
Yeah, it's basically a process. You first have the motivation to do something, and you got to remember why you stuck to it. Yeah. So as soon as you realize the motivation is leaving you, people quit. You can see in the gym, if you're a long time goer to the gym, you see people quit after maybe 3 weeks of going to the gym.
Yeah.
So,
that's why you need the higher purpose.
Yep.
That's why you need the purpose.
Because after that, it's discipline of doing it day by day. It's a process. It's just, you'll eventually reach your goal, what you're looking for, but just know it's going to be a tough battle.
Yeah,
it's basically.
And the one thing every billionaire, every rich person, multimillionaire says, if you're quitting on yourself a lot, right? You can't remember your purpose. You keep forgetting your purpose. You keep quitting. Write that shit down and look at it every morning. If you need something physical to remind you, this is it, because you can't like mentally get there, which is fine. Then write that shit down. Get a whiteboard in your room. Write that shit. Write your mission, whatever you want to do. So that way there's actually something physical for you telling you, that's my purpose. I remember. Because it is hard to like sometimes, especially if it's like your first big battle, like your first really big one. Mm-hmm. It's hard to visualize it like the first time. I feel like once you get through like one big battle, then every other battle you take for yourself, you can kind of visualize it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just the first one. You can't even do it. Write that shit down.
That sense of accomplishment once you get there,
Yeah. You don't have a grasp on it yet. Yeah. Write that shit down.
I think there's a couple quotes that I like. I swear, my head is just filled with quotes and stupid stuff, right? So one of them, I can't remember who said it, but I think he was talking about there's this book he had read, right? And was it this kid and either a horse or something was in this forest, right? And the kid was talking about how he can't see the end of the forest. And he was like, well, can you see your next step? He was like, yeah. And then just focus on that. It's okay to keep in mind the end goal, right? Focus on the next step. Focus on the now. Do what you need to do to get to that end goal. Another one, of course, I like. The top of one mountain is the bottom of another one.